So today I want to make a quick video in regards to something called retracing. Now, retracing means that when we actually start to work on something that's been a problem for so long, the areas that have been shifted and compensated become pretty much a problem, and sometimes your body has to undo a lot of that stress, and through that process you can start to feel some symptoms that were there before and they have gone away for some time, and as we start to correct the issue, sometimes those symptoms might start to come back for a temporary time and then they start to alleviate again. So basically, when I start to work on the lower back, when that lower back becomes a problem initially, if it's not corrected at that point, your body will shift by changing the structure and moving so it can try to alleviate some of that pressure. So for example, if someone comes in, they might come in crooked, and over a period of time your body doesn't want to do that. So it's going to start to shift and move and change because it's trying to get pressure off of that lower back. Now, you may feel better for a period of time because your body's compensated over the years. Now, when we start to go back in and correct it, your body, because it's been compensating for so long, it can become aggravated. So this is why some patients, they can actually feel worse before they get better, is because sometimes when we start to correct that structure, sometimes that pressure gets aggravated on that nerve again because it's been compensating for so long. Now we're trying to undo some of that stress. Now, some other issues that might actually come about is if I work on that lower back and your body's now starting to undo and unwind all that stress, sometimes patients may feel pain in that lower back, but then it might shift to your mid back, or even sometimes neck issues might be a problem. Another thing, or another example, might be if someone has anterior head carriage where your head's shifting forward so much. Now what happens is when I start to correct some issues within the neck, you will start to have that impacting the mid back as well. And again, that can shift from pain in the neck and start to come back in between the shoulder blades, or even some issues in the lower back where those muscles might become very tense and very tight. So sometimes things start to shift, move, and change because we're trying to really work on the structure. Now that's a good sign to me. Sometimes when patients come in, it's like, man, doc, I don't know what you did. I actually feel a little bit worse. Unfortunately, that sucks for the patient because it's very uncomfortable, but when it comes to the reality of it, that's telling me, man, we're doing something. We're putting work into the body to really try to undo and change the structure there. So unfortunately, it's not going to be the most comfortable sometimes, and I wish sometimes that we can just have this all sunshines and rainbows and everything's doing really well and really great. But unfortunately, because your body's been this way for so long, depending on how old you are, how long the problem's been there for, sometimes things have to get a little bit worse before it gets better. So that's what we call retracing, is sometimes the symptom might actually get a little more aggravated or come about when it wasn't there before, and as we start to work on that body, but usually those symptoms, as they get aggravated, it shouldn't be aggravated for too long. So it might take us a week, maybe sometimes even 2 weeks, depending on the issue, before we can start to get that body really starting to recover even more. So if you are experiencing something called retracing, or you're trying to see that your symptoms start to increase a little bit, just know that's to be expected. It's just part of the process of healing, but over a period of time you should start to feel that less and less. So I hope that helped you guys, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask the doctor, and we'll figure out what we can do for you. All right, God bless.